No one called it tech skills, but exactly what it was. So if you do have these skills, essentially you do have transferable skills. I was absolutely petrified. Literally, she just kind of pushed me deep end. I was so scared, and we just have to set a deadline. And I said to her I wasn't doing it. She said, well, you're going to do it. And in the end, submitted my first CV. It was scary. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jane and I share real stories about home, lifestyle and career. I left nursing after 21 years and just 3 months later, I landed a tech job with no degree, no certification, no experience, and yes, it paid me twice my nursing salary. Today, I'm kicking off on a 4-part series about how I made a bold shift from nursing to tech without a background in IT. This first video is where it really began before I even thought of applying for a job or even updated my CV. It started with something unexpected. So for years, whilst I was working as a full-time nurse, I also started to blog, and that was like a creative outlet for me where I would share my thoughts. I was journaling, and to be honest, I didn't even realize that it was a way of me managing my burnout in my job as a nurse at that time. What I didn't realize was that I was teaching myself skills people get paid for. I managed my website. I set up the WordPress for the blogging site. I even was able to figure out how to use the email tools, content schedulings, SEO basics. I learned all this through YouTube. No one called it a tech skills, but exactly what it was. So if you do have these skills, essentially you do have transferable skills. At work, I was managing about 35 patients in the community in different catchments with different mental health needs, including their families. I was coordinating their admission, I was managing their medication, I was coordinating with the police, social workers, hospitals, housing, writing reports, attending tribunals, and so many other things. Again, I didn't think about all these things that I was doing as, anything aside from, is beyond my job. So looking back right now, I was able to see that, it was part of project management, stakeholders management, data handling, and all these are highly transferable skills. Then something happened that really opened my eyes. I was asked to support a digital transformation within the hospital where I was working. It was organized and fast moving, and when I spoke, people actually did listen. So it dawned on me that maybe there's actually a space for me outside nurse. So the hardest part of the transition wasn't about learning new tools, but it's about a mindset shift. You tend to have these fears or these questions. You're, thinking I've spent a better, part of my life being a nurse, and wondering if my skill set would apply in a different field. Even though people have spoken to me, I've been in meetings, I've done my research, I know definitely that data says that, I could actually do that. But then it's about, me changing my perception about myself, and also knowing that, I belong here. And the imposter syndrome is real. So if you are here and you're thinking, and that's what's holding you back, to be honest, I felt all of it, and it's real, and I don't think that should stop you, because I didn't allow it to stop me. Because one day I then asked myself, what if the reason why you're burnt out is that you've outgrown the role where you are? So just like that, I gave myself permission to explore. I didn't go back to school to go and do a degree or anything. I didn't get any fancy certification at the time. I went to YouTube and I was just binging all the content around tech, people who had navigated to from a different career, from nursing, all different manner of, it doesn't have to be a nursing. So I saw a video of a lady who spoke about how she transitioned from being a psychology student to business analyst, and I emailed her. I explained my situation at the time, she then signposted me to a trainer, a BA trainer, who I then went through the training for 8 weeks. And when we finished that, I then came back to her again for mentoring. As she helped me, I then was able to optimize my CV. And I was absolutely petrified. Literally, she just kind of pushed me in the deep end. I was so scared, and we just have to set a deadline. And I said to her I wasn't doing it. She said, well, you're going to do it. And in the end, I, submitted my first CV. It was scary. And slowly I began to feel like I'm not starting from scratch, and I'm starting from experience, because I was able to kind of match the job description to something I already done within the nursing field. And a month later, I landed a remote job in business analyst. The first 2 job interviews that I had, one didn't go very well, but the next one, obviously I learned from my mistakes. The next one that I had was a 3-stage interviews, and the required presentation, which went very well. I understand that it wasn't so glamorous, obviously, because it's still a job, but it gave me peace and more flexibility, more time with my family, and more pay, because obviously I'm twice, earned as, I was getting as a nurse at the time. So it actually did open a door to a whole new life I've never imagined myself in. So what followed changed not only in my career, but in my confidence, my pace, and how I see what's possible in my 40s. So if you're in healthcare or any other field and wondering if your skill can transfer, I do have a one-to-one consultation where we can actually have a conversation where you are and see how you can navigate to tech, if that's what you're interested in. And if this video does resonate with you, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. And I will see you in my next one, where we will walk through exactly what I did to transition to tech. Bye.